You cannot handle this intellect.
Welcome. We are here early
You
today
cannot handle
because we
this
got
intellect.
so much to
You
say.
cannot
This
handle
is
this
Cons for
intellect.
Trump
Some
live
of you
on Intellectual Radio.
y'all have been working too
Tyrone
hard for
Muhammad,
something
Carter
that
is out on assignment, but I got the great George Blakemore sitting there with me today, and we got some things to talk about, man. You know George is full of information. And once again, live call in 708-223-8953. For my regular people out there, the regular viewers, we are early, and that's a treat for you today. So with that being said, I'm gonna go right in and just say hi to Mr. Blakemore. Hey, Mr. Blakemore.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. Well,
Good evening, good afternoon.
Mr. Blakemore said afternoon, then that's what it is. So we're gonna change the time. That's okay. You earned the right to change the time for the day.
Thank you.
So George, you back again. Is there anything in particular you think the listening audience should know about what your views are, your vision, what you've seen? Because you're often at the city council and county building, water rec, you everywhere, George, and advocating for our community, making the raising a necessary noise. What do you think? What is the issue of the day? Give me top three things you think Black folks should be paying attention to in city council.
Well, you know that we're on the eve of Black History Month, and I expect to see the lobbies on the county side and the city side with many pictures and artifacts that will tell our story here in the city of Chicago, in the state of Illinois, and national. We are great people, and we have a short month. We have February, so I expect to see many things, good things about our people. So I don't want to just have one or two little pictures up talking about Harriet Tubman or Dr. King. We have to be proactive, and we have a story to tell in America that goes back from the time that we was enslaved in America, and we have achieved a lot, and America owe us a lot. So this is time for us to celebrate Black History Month. I expect for not.
Hey, Carter, keep it going.
Yeah,
George, let George finish up. Go ahead,
all
George.
right, Carter, what's going on?
Hello?
Carter?
Mr. Blakemore, you go ahead and finish.
All right, so I know down in Texas they've had Black Berets, and they had a lot of artists came in, and one of them sold one of their picture for $20,000. They having fashion shows and everything. We have to embrace our culture. Now, when Lady Lightfoot was in, that Ukrainian display stayed up on the city side for 2 years. And then the Hispanic, they have the Day of the Dead, and they have all beautiful displays. So I expect for the county and the city, that lobby will be filled with telling our story, how we was enslaved in America, and how we have achieved great things in America. Americans owe us, and I don't want to see nothing shabby up, but something that's very tasteful and planned out. So I know usually when we have the city council meeting in the month of February, the Black altars put on these dashikis and other type of African garments and prance around. You have to live it. So I think that we have to show our culture, and we have achieved so much, and America owes us so much, and we have to celebrate our accomplishment. And the main thing in our schools is mandated in the state of Illinois that Black history will be taught, integrated with the other discipline of history and science and art and we got to integrate these disciplines. And Carter G. Woodson says the missed education of the black man. This is time for us to celebrate our achievements. So I was very excited today to come this committee on finance and also with human relations. So we have to human relation is how we relate to other races and how they relate to us. And the young lad, Tyrone Mohammed, spoke very eloquent. And so he's a businessman. And the hemp is a new industry. So we want our people to get involved in this industry. I'm very excited about it because he have hired, over 20 young black men and women, and he's going to open up another dispensary. And the location of these dispensaries is the second one is a carryout. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 North Halstead. So I want y'all to patronize him. What draws me to Tyrone is that he's a businessman. I grew up down south with outstanding businessmen. In Fort Worth, Texas, we had a bank. We had a black hospital. We had black schools that was founded by black people. And we had business. And this is something that's like it in the city of Chicago.
Yes,
we need black business. Now you go to Hispanic, they have their business. The China have their Chinatown. Blacks don't even have a grocery store. That's right. So we used to have a memory lane, banks. We had like something like insurance company, black car dealership, black business. We have become a consumer people. We must not only consume, but we must produce and we must sell to other people. We only spending money and we not making money.
Mm.
So I was very excited over Tyrone with this new industry. It's the hemp industry, and he is doing great things. And okay, Tyrone, are you ready to
No,
speak?
I was saying get closer to the mic.
Okay, get closer to the mic.
There you go, Joe.
I was brought up around black men and women that open up business. Look, sometimes you say 10-year-old business. You don't have no business when you don't have any money and you don't know how to pool your money and open up business. That's what we need. And Frederick Douglass said back in 1897, what would you tell a young black man or a young black woman? To agitate. And that's what I do every day, is to agitate.
Thank you, Mr. Blakemore. D. Carter Trust is online, y'all. Hey, Carter, you got some words? Hey. We can't wait till you come back. We can't wait till you get back.
I will be back next week. But come on, let me just say this. I hope that you take a moment to explain to the people, and you've done this on the show before, about the big industry in the hemp arena, Curaleaf and those others who are companies, mega rich people from overseas, and who are in this country taking money out of our communities and away from our people. Because what we want to do as Black Americans is we want to support our own. And so those of you who are rushing to those businesses to purchase your paraphernalia need to be coming to the Black businesses who are prepared to serve you. Because let me tell you something, if we don't begin to empower and ourselves and bring ourselves out of poverty, it is not going to happen. And that is basically what Mr. Blakemore has been saying. And let me say something else. We cannot expect them to acknowledge our month. This is our month. So we must dress up in our Afrocentric garb and walk around and talk about what befalls the history of our people. They are not going to do it. So we have to be intentional, not just this month, but every day,
That's
talking to our young
Mandated.
people and our community about our people and the plight of our people and the fact that we have built this country and brought it to the place that it is, even though this country refuses to acknowledge
That's
that.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you, Carter. You want to hold on, or you
Yeah,
good?
I'm going to hold on. But if
All right.
another call comes in, take it and I'll call back.
Yes.
And thank you.
So God asked me to explain. First of all, thank you all for listening. Please subscribe and share IntellectualRadio.com. Please do that now. Go to IntellectualRadio.com and subscribe and share. Once again, you're watching X, you're listening to and watching X Cons for Trump live on Intellectual Radio. For those who would like to call in and have a comment or suggestion or statement, 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953. 60 years or more of mass incarceration over the flower that is called cannabis, even hemp. For 60 years, the federal government has used weed as a tool to seize our cars, to seize our homes, to create a mass incarceration. And I need to really tell our people something that they really don't understand. Weed has always been the gateway drug to cocaine, heroin, and any STs, all this ecstasies and all of that. Weed has always been the gateway drug. So when you see them and they talk about the war on drugs, remember, cannabis started it all. Weed started it all. It was the beginning. So after they flooded our community with cannabis, then they flooded our community with heroin and cocaine. We set it up for us to filter drugs, and then we set it up for us to control drug territories, then thereby forcing us to also take in guns to protect our territory. It's like any market. It doesn't matter what that market is. There has to be protections of that market. In this case, the real drug dealers, the pharmaceuticals, use the federal government and the police and regulate the agency and bodies of their own homies and cronies to regulate pharmaceutical products that kills more people than cocaine and heroin put together.
Tyrone, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
what is that a drug that's been around a long, long time? Alcohol.
Yes.
Tell me what they said about the
I want to talk about that. Oh, that is worse than any drug. That is worse than any drug. And they also now have discovered that alcohol create cancers in cells and bodies. So, and it's like, now, I always thought alcohol did more than just inebriate you. I always thought that anything that could dry your bones up to the core and dry your body and your livers and your kidneys naturally gonna produce cancer, because your livers and kidneys is the agency that cleans your blood.
That's right.
So why wouldn't it produce cancer? It don't take a rocket science to know if you drink, you could catch cancer. Because your livers and kidneys and spleen is gone.
Right.
What's gonna deal with the toxins and all other stuff in your body if your livers are damaged? So that's not nothing. I don't see that as surprising. I just think people they've withheld information for us for so long that we don't. It's like ignorance is bliss, and we love nothing, and we love death. We love death, even if it enters our own home. We say we don't, but we practice death every day in everything we do. Now back to that, the cannabis. Our communities have been violated, starting with the weed. We don't produce weed, George. We don't produce whole cocaine or heroin. We don't produce bullets and guns. We don't produce practically nothing, not even birth control pills.
That's right. We're a consumer.
We don't even produce birth control pills.
That's right. We're a consumer.
So what I'm telling you is that somebody is always controlling us, whether it's through our womb or through the tomb.
All right.
From the womb to the tomb, we do not, Mr. Blakemore, control the outcomes of our life.
That's correct.
Somebody is.
Yes, and we're still on the white man's plantation, because Maxine Waters say they brought drugs into our neighborhoods. But I was looking at something on Facebook, and it stated by the wizard, a Ku Klux Klan, saying that what we can do now is that we can bring drugs into the neighborhood and guns, and the blacks will kill each other. So we have to be proactive. We have to think selfish. Webb Evans said several years ago that the dollar bill should circle around in the black community 7 times before it leaves. So if they would give the blacks today, if they give you reparation, give each one of you $100,000, tomorrow the white man will have it all.
You have it back.
I have it right back.
You have it right back.
We have to educate, and we got to inform our people and teach them about financial, what Tyrone is doing. Don't tell me to tend to my business. When you don't have no business, you don't have no money.
That's right. And on that note, I'm gonna keep it moving. Look, George.
Yes.
60 years of mass incarceration. Our black elected officials, along with J.B. Pritzker, because this is his #1 legislation to make cannabis legal. Everybody want to talk about fixing the damage caused by the war on drugs. And they said they will use cannabis as a tool to fix this issues and ills that they caused in the first place. They're going to use the tax dollars from cannabis, if they make it legal, to fix the damage that was caused by the war on drugs, to be reentry, workforce development, mentoring programs, and violence prevention. We already know that the $700 million made last year, 2024, $700 million, George.
$700 million.
I guarantee you, not even 50% of that went back into our communities.
That's right.
To make them better.
That's right.
Not even 50%. I'm being not even a third.
Right.
So
You're
the whole,
You're being very generous.
See, I'm being generous. I'm being a nice guy. And the bottom line is, they took the cannabis industry. Our black elected officials helped them legislate us out of the industry, while black men were still in prison for cannabis. While black men, by the hundreds of thousands, haven't been expunged or received any reparation for the cannabis prohibition. For them being locked up for cannabis for 60 years. Our grandfathers, uncles, brothers, cousins, sisters, everybody have been incarcerated or pulled over or arrested for the weed,
and
right?
Some of our young people are rock babies, and then they're rock adults, bringing this poison into our community. Now we have to wake up and stop being a consumer and started being making money. That's what it's simple. What Tyrone is doing he is opening up opportunities to our young blacks. And he's educating them. Just the idea of a black business. That's a businessman. So we have to do this. And another thing, our elected officials, our black elected officials, voted for sanctuary, bringing in other people to compete for jobs, goods, and contracts and service with us. So it's time for us to purge ourselves of this N word and get rid of all of them. Who, I want to speak with proper English, who do or who does that? Why would they vote to empower somebody else?
Nonsense.
It's worse than nonsense. It's political suicide. It's stupidity. So the buck stop with us. We must purge ourselves, have a revolution, and get rid of all of them. Every black elected official that voted for sanctuary, vote them out. Get them out by any means necessary.
So said.
Come on now, George, say it.
So said
right.
Mr. George Blakemore. And as I finish this point, Carter, I ain't gonna never stop our elder from speaking. He full. He could keep going if he wanted to. But
Yes, he
but
can.
but
Yes, he can.
this is the business. Now we found a way. We locked out now that there's no such thing as social equity in cannabis. They got that wrong from the very beginning, Carter. As no ex-cons, very little or no, and then with the token few ex-cons that's in the cannabis space, they have no power and no money.
Right.
So these people made $5 billion last year, and ain't no ex-con a millionaire in cannabis. So when they say they social equity, they are lying. They are nothing but pass-through and tokenism. These people are using them and they license as a front. They can't even shore up a location or have the money to build out. And ultimately, the whole trick was to get them license so they can sell them right back to the MSOs. That's multi-state operators. Yeah. Every multi-state operator in cannabis, most of these big cannabis companies, Carter, don't even live in Illinois. They don't even live in Illinois. So all these dispensaries y'all see in Chicago by these multi-state operators, these billionaires do not live in the city of Chicago. Yet they control 90% of all dispensaries. 90-some% of all dispensaries are controlled by outsiders. Curaleaf, one of the biggest dispensary in the world. While our country talk about Russia, Boris Jordan, Curaleaf CEO and owner, is Russian. He's a Russian. And 75 to 85% of all the products, meaning bags, vape pen, cartridges, all of the battery activities, battery as power sources, all of the a lot of these ancillary things like pre-roll, rollers, trays, and all this stuff come from China. We want to talk about China and Russia out front, but China and Russia are the number one paraphernalia. China, the paraphernalia owners of all the weed and cannabis accoutrements. Yeah. All of the product, ancillary product, George, is owned by and produced by a whole nother country, while our elected officials, talk all tough about China and Russia. Yet we import and export. We import all of these, and then the China own all the buildings. China own and Russia own all the companies. Yet we talk about them like we don't do business with Russians. That's what our government been doing it. We as the little people are the ones that suffer. So now you got the hemp, which is federally legal. Under the 90 Hemp Farm Bill. I'm thinking of the number in the memo. I won't say 18. Farm Bill by Mitch McConnell and Donald J. Trump. that made cannabis, hemp, federally legal. And we living now in a greedy democracy in Chicago and around the country. Most of the cannabis companies are in Democratic-led cities. They are exploiting the law. They've been exploiting our politicians for them to gain control of an industry, to have a monopoly over an industry that we have no stake in, right? Now we find a way to get in the industry through hemp that's federally legal. We have a government that's funded by the corporate cannabis lobbyists and lawyers telling us that we need to ban the federally legal product, and for them to accept and bring the federally legal product under the cannabis that's federally illegal. So here we are fighting against J.B. Pritzker, who ushered in all of the cannabis license and gave it to his cronies and a few token Negroes that got a license. And yet they don't reach out to the community members to be a part of anything that they're doing, even though we've been on the front line fighting for them to get their license. Now J.B. Pritzker want to give the whole hemp industry, over $5 billion hemp industry, over to the cannabis industry, which would essentially create a monopoly. And nothing prevents the cannabis industry from selling the same products that we're selling, but they can't compete with us, so they'll rather destroy us and monopolize the product so they have no competition. And that right there is not entrepreneurship nor capitalism.
And you got to understand, the buck stopped with black people. They used several years ago. It was municipal, and then it became recreational. Then they want to come in and control the hemp industry. And Tyrone said it's federal legal to farm and produce hemp. But the egregious act, what I hate about this is we have black faces in high places selling black people out. You talking about Pritzker? You got a black mayor.
Governor.
You got a black mayor.
Yeah.
You got black aldermans. You got black Speaker of the House. You have black over here with Brent Winkle, and you got black commissioners. So we have to start getting rid of our slave mentality, black people who are selling us out. We have to, a divided home cannot stand. The reason black people have not progressed in America is not only because of other ethnic groups, it's because some black people have fallen in love with the enemy. We must be selfish. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. We must focus on ourselves. Now, that's what we have to do now, Tyrone. Tyrone is telling me to cool down now.
Don't cool down, just don't hit the table.
All right,
keep going,
hit
turn
the
up.
table. All right now.
Ooh, that's right.
We got black faces who are going against Tyrone, a black businessman. Instead of embracing him, they're trying to destroy him. So again, the buck stopped with us. In our God, we gotta trust. Go red or go blue. You end up, go black. Go black. That's where it's at.
Come on, Brother George. Teach him. You know what? And see, that's what I appreciate about our seniors. And that's why we are to protect them. Because let me tell you something. They have that knowledge. You know, the basis for what has been that got us to where we are. And so now that knowledge is what's going to prepare us for where we need to go. So I thank you, Brother George, for coming in and giving the people the history lesson.
That's right.
History.
That's right.
His story.
And
people.
Historic, that means where you came from and where you want to go. And so history is very, very important. Now, our history before the Mayflower, we was great people, the Moors, and we're still great. All we have to do is use what we got to get what we want. And if you don't use what you got to get what you want, you don't need what you got.
Hey, George, I always try to quote you the other day. You deserve the government you got. How it go?
You deserve the government you get, and you get the government you deserve. And so that's why we're in the position. Look at your Altamans. There will be no economic development on the south side or the west side unless you have to make it happen. We got to overcome the legacy of slavery.
That's right. Y'all, once again, 708-223-8953. If you want to if you want to comment, a question, or just a suggestion. But we are here. We are live on Intellectual Radio, and this is Ex-Cons for Trump Live. And you know what? It's such a beautiful day. It's such a beautiful, I think, I send my love out to the family members and people in the military and that was the plane crash over Washington, the helicopter in that flight. Sending our love and condolence to those families, those Americans and whoever else was on those planes, and sending our love out to them and say that was a heck of a tragedy, a heck of a crash and a mistake that was made in some way. But yet, all of those people, I think everybody lost their lives in that. And I mean, every time I go up in the plane, just being somebody, George, I used to fix on turbine engines in the planes, right?
No, I know that you told me several years ago that you was trained to work in that industry, and you would have gone to Tulsa to work in that airline industry. And you told me that you was very, very smart, and you just kind of went straight, started hollering rocks and blow, but now you back focus on making your life better.
Yes,
and this is why I appreciate you and what you're doing.
So yeah, the turbine engine, man, is so powerful. Those engines so powerful, George. If you standing next to them, they can suck you in.
Oh,
that's how they able to lift them 1,000 tons, thousands of pounds of plane and steel and metal off the ground because of the thrust and the ailerons that's on the plane's wing. They're able to give lift. So it's a science to that thing, man, and it's no stopping. And at some point with our technology, I think we got to, man, I got to figure it out. Maybe I need to get somebody the idea. They ain't going to give me none of the money. They out there, I be giving out too much. There had to be a balloon that like what you call an airbag that comes out and wrap around the daggone plane and cause a bubble. Like, so it could just land, let's roll or something. Like, there has to be some technology. And I don't think that we are really actively seeking ways to really, with the technology and the engineering that we have, to create real safety like that. Because we just taking it on face value that our technology is enough in that particular space or in industry. But the power of those planes, man, there ain't no making no mistake.
Tyrone, didn't you tell me that you went to CVS and you told me that back then that was a technical school and one of the
vocational.
Best, vocational.
Yes.
Now, if you go there today, they don't have 200 students. So the quality of education
is
in
not.
our black ghettos have gone down. They even said today that a fourth grade student, our 12th grade, compared with other races of people, our 12th grade read on a fourth grade level. the miseducation of the black man. Just imagine if that young man would have gone to CBS, would have gone down to Tulsa. He's already is great. He would even be greater. He would be because he was young, gifted, and black.
But what happens,
he's still gifted. He's still doing God's work. He's still cream always come to the top. Oh, your dog is named Cream too?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm talking about my people Cream. All right now.
So
not your puppet Cream.
Oh, my puppy son. See, so George.
Yeah.
I want to say this. If I went to school, became an aviation flight engineer, I would have personally been rich.
Yes.
Because I would have started my own engine repair hangar at O'Hare or Midway or somewhere. Eventually, I would have started my own company. That's just how I am entrepreneurial. So I would have been fixing on private jets or something with my company, a mechanic company.
Maybe you own the whole
I own one company. That's what I would have did, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is, George, when we get to that point where we make it $250,000, $1 million a year as a people, we often don't have a fight for the people.
Okay.
We financially, as black people, we're independently wealthy and we straight, but we don't have no outreach to the people to teach them. So we become brainwashed and become pompous Negroes with money.
Yes.
And you never give back to a cause, George.
You must give back.
So God's way of intervening in my affairs, from the killing fields that is school and indoctrination that will lead me to fraternities and special groups, Masons, and I would have been a part of that group. Not saying that all of them don't give back, but what happens is there's no fight for the people in those groups, and they are part of party, and they're part of certain cliques and groups. So God sending me through the streets, making me understand poverty, making me understand gang, drugs, and violence, making me to understand hardships. There's no harsher penalty besides death. To sit in a 9x12 cell for 2 decades. I've seen people hang themselves in prison after being in there 30 days. That is no feat. You got people who can't even stay in their own washroom for over 5 minutes. Now you talking about a 9x12 cell washroom where we live with another man on a bunk bed that we share the same toilet. In a 9x12 space, we eat there, we sleep there, we study there, we cry there, we read there, we pray there, and we die there. In that space, while everybody out here in this free society are complaining, are struggling. They free, George, and they complaining and struggling about what somebody didn't give them or what the government should do. I knew sitting in that cell, George, when I created ECCSC inside that cell, I knew I wanted an organization that teach black men, boys, and women and girls that is gonna take us
a village
to save us. Not look towards that's why we don't get money from government. They don't give us nothing, because when you have this attitude that you're going to create businesses and opportunity for yourself, and they didn't give me no money for no loan.
That's right.
To build business. So if you do that and you're not using them, guess what you become to them? An enemy. Their whole life job is to destroy you.
That's right.
Everybody associate with you, because this is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to rely on the Democratic Party to give you jobs, contracts,
Good.
goods, and services.
When you can
So when
provide
provide
that
it
for
yourself, my tax dollars should be sufficient enough for me to take care of my neighborhood.
That's right.
But why are we in a deficit?
Because of poor black leadership.
That is.
Poor black leadership.
That is.
The miseducation of the black man.
How is it that our tax dollars are inadequate to have real schools? Why I can't take my tax dollars and put my children into a private school
Yes.
that I feel ain't teaching them gender?
Yes.
That's gonna actually love my kid and let me be the parent to my child, regardless to what school my child go to.
That's right.
Our tax dollars are used to enslave us.
That's right.
Our own tax dollars are used to oppress us and enslave us.
And our leadership, no leadership. No leadership. So who does that? Who or whom one of these verbs does that? To empower another people to get things that you're not getting. Something is wrong. What do they call them? Sellouts, house, traders. We got to overcome the legacy of slavery. Now, I'm going to leave that with all of my friends. I think the intellectual radio is something that's very important. It's 708-2238-953. Intellectual, that means people who are thinking, then analytical, critical thinkers. Think twice before you answer. We have to do this, and nobody else gonna do it for us but us. This is why I support Tyrone Mohammed and his business endeavor. May God bless you, Tyrone, and may you bless somebody else, and let that somebody else be black. Thank you.
I can't say it any better, and it's coming a time where, I made a lot of mistakes in life.
We all
A lot of them. But one thing we've done? We've taken that mistake and we said, we're ex-cons. We blame ourselves. So you ain't got to keep telling me what the hell I did.
Mhm.
I'm telling myself what I did.
Yeah.
And then proceed to create opportunity
Yeah.
to fix the damage that my own hands have caused.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting around blaming the conspiratorial plots to destroy black men and boys, the drugs and guns that's pumped in our neighborhood.
Yes.
I can say, hey, it wasn't my fault. I ain't make them.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Even while we take personal responsibility, we still get no credit, no support from the very people who get on the rostrum like J.B. Pritzker and say he want opportunity for everybody. He's the governor for everybody, but he hasn't been in our neighborhoods since he went on an apology tour for calling black men the lesser of two ends. Pretty much. It's a real hard truth we dealing with. We got people controlling our elected official with the purse.
Yes.
We send them to their office or their position with a vote. That shows you how powerful that vote is.
Yes.
Our vote send them to an office to legislate against us financially.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Insanity.
How do we not see that we argue with each other about Republican and Democrat, red and blue?
Yes.
While in the midst of us fighting and showing the Democratic Party that they haven't listened to us and they deserve what they get or got, the Republicans are just as bad. And that even while watching our communities do something different, they have yet to produce any resources and substantive opportunities for us to better our communities while talking about the Democrats.
Well, like I was saying, Tyrone, that I voted for Trump, and Trump said he was going to send the illegals back.
We gonna help them.
Okay, but uh, uh, he started with those who are committed a criminal act. That's a criminal act when you come into this country without going through immigration. You can't even bring a plant from Portugal over to America without going to the agriculture department because that plant can damage the native plants that are already here. You can't bring a monkey or fish from Nigeria over here. Asian carp, they don't want it to get
That's
to,
right.
to the Great Lakes.
That's
They don't
simple.
want it. That's simple. So Trump, clean up the swamp, and the way you clean up the swamp is send them all back, all of them back. So again, go red, flip red, go black. That's where it's at.
Carter, still there? I don't know if Carter's still there. Well, anyway, 708-223-8953 if you want to be a part of the conversation. This is IntellectualRadio.com, and I implore you all, if and quite a few people watching, if you are watching this show and you haven't subscribed or shared IntellectualRadio.com, you are out of order. IntellectualRadio.com, the baddest, blackest radio, internet, Facebook, live in the country. Go subscribe and share, and let's get into the business of supporting Black-owned business. IntellectualRadio.com is a Black-owned business. It's a Black-owned establishment, and it's always active in delivering quality conversation and programs, and we can be ourselves and speak our mind as long as we're not disrespectful. And we are not that, but we gonna be intentional. We gonna be intentional. This upcoming local election season,
Yes.
we're about to roll out some initiatives that y'all ain't never seen before.
Yes.
We putting everybody in the Democratic Party in this city, this state need to be challenged in Chicago.
That's right.
That means from commission. I don't care if you my friend.
That's right.
We're gonna put somebody up to challenge you,
Yes.
to let you know we're here.
And we gonna
You
win.
may you give me we may not win them all, but we gonna flip some seats.
That's right.
My goal is to change at least 5 automatic seats. See, we can't do it all at once. If you change 5, if we change 10, we change 4 state reps, we change the state, put the state senator, and then we do a senator.
That's
Man,
right.
if we can commissioners,
That's right.
if we can start knocking one off at a time, starting with everybody that did what, George? Voted for what?
Sanctuary.
What they vote for?
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
We need sanctuary.
I need some right now.
You need it.
You need
we
it.
need it. Us need it. Okay.
We need sanctuary from poverty.
Yes.
We need sanctuary from miseducation.
That's right.
We need sanctuary from murders and death that's happening.
And enslaved in America.
Enslaved in America.
We never got our 40 acres and we didn't get our mules.
Well, I want my Rolls Royce and I want my 200 acres.
All right, now you entitled to it.
Because now 40 acres, I mean, the mule got to be equivalent to my Rolls Royce.
All right, now.
Huh?
Yes.
That can't the mule no more. The mule cheap now.
That's right.
The mule in 1800 money got to be equivalent at least to 2 or 3 Rolls Royces by now.
Our acres will be thousands and thousands of acres of land is owed us. We made America great. America didn't make the black people great. We made her great by giving them free labor.
And we are not migrants. We And all of our conditions in slavery, everybody been through it, but they wasn't enslaved in America.
They
In
wasn't enslaved in
America,
America.
we were the only ones enslaved in America.
The Mexican, no ethnic group was enslaved in America but the black man and the black woman. These others come over as refugees, immigrants, or whatever. The only people in America that was enslaved was the black man and the black woman and the black child. We will overcome the legacy of slavery.
We will. But it's going to start with getting rid of some people, George.
That's right.
Some people going to go. Some people are so poisoned, George, that
right.
It's no matter how much. You can't like pick the caterpillar off the crop one by one. It's just too many, too long, too tedious. Right. So they put poison on there, right? They put a product, a chemical that specifically deals with that pest.
That's right.
They formulate a chemical that deals with that pest.
To get rid of that boll weevil.
You know how we get rid of the pest, the chemical that we gonna use to get rid of the pest that I call our elected officials. We going to the polls. We're gonna organize our vote. We're gonna organize collective economics. And we're gonna come together and buy and own our stores, businesses, gas stations, and grocery store. We're starting the process. Either you're going to come with us or you're going to be looking back in 5 years wishing you've been with us.
That's right.
It's like just they're going to come with us or in 5 years they're going to be looking back seeing why they didn't come with us.
That's right.
Because now they're going to be hungry, starving, dead, and out of doors. And there's not going to be any help from you if you don't unify with your kind. Around economic opportunity, around stopping our women and children from being murdered in these communities. You know what? I listened to, George, I'm going to say it. I listened to certain black men, like openly in front of white folks, call our women bitches and hoes. Openly call them names. But then turn around talking about how to protect black women and kids from being murdered in Chicago. I'm telling you, it's people out there that say they don't want to see black women get murdered and kids get murdered, but then we'll turn around and disrespect each other on another level. I'm just thinking because I've been guilty of certain levels of disrespect. I don't really never ever disrespect women. I've done that, and I say I can be a little aggressive when it comes to dealing with certain political people and men in authority that I feel have exploited our communities. I don't always respond in the proper way because my emotion and love for my people make me furious with the way they have treated them. And I'm learning better how to deal with them individually from their position. But what I'm learning and putting young people to work, paying taxes, creating opportunities, is that I have the power of the people I employ. I have the support and power from that. That generates votes. Their family has votes. Their family have pay taxes. They feed their family, and their family then understand that this is the entity that helps them. Then we spread that throughout the communities, and you link all the people that's actually doing that around a common agenda, then we can remove these hypocrites that we selected and put in office, because now they got to listen to us if we bring that many bodies and voters to the poll that can threaten their rule. Because that's what it's about anyway. Contract, jobs, whatever. Goods and services.
Yeah, but the thing about it, sir, you thinking that you are voting for these people. These people are selected by a
A party.
machine, a party,
Right.
and you're voting for who or whom that party selected. So they all are inbreeding. 60. Oh, you can't say 69 in each other. Anyway,
Yes, they is.
what I'm saying here is that these black people do not represent us. They represent the machine that put them there. And what Tyrone Mohammed, Honorable Tyrone Mohammed is saying, that he's going to break that machine.
Gotta break.
And we're going to have our own people to run. And those people that we select is going to serve our community.
And if
Thank you.
don't know how we're running, and we're going to continue to educate you over the next few weeks, but we're running our candidates under the Independent Party of America.
Independent Party of America.
NIPA. Look it up. Hashtag IPA. I got stuff all out there.
Okay.
Independent Party of America.
Independent Party of America.
We are gonna make a difference in this city when we roll out the candidates under that moniker. We're gonna keep educating. We're building. You're gonna see advertisement. You're gonna see pluggers, flyers. You're gonna see billboards. You're gonna see it all to show that we're not here to play no games with these parties. This two-party system has to know that it can be challenged.
Yes.
It was challenged in this last election.
Yes.
But now come the local politics.
All politics
it's local.
All
it's
politics
local.
Is local.
And we're gonna challenge you
Challenge
local devils. You local devils gonna get it.
That's right. What you call them devils?
Local devils.
Evil people.
Evil people.
Evil, rotten, low-lighted people. Low-lighted.
Sure.
Get rid of them.
Get rid
All of them. All of them. We're going to flip it red. We're going to flip it go red. But the aim is go black. Black is where it's at.
Go black.
That's right.
And immigrant, non-citizen, go back.
Go back. Go back to where you came from. You have no right to take nothing from a black man or a black woman.
I feel sorry.
We was enslaved here.
Yeah, and you got it.
It's just too much. It's much too much. Get rid of all these old black ancient mamas, Sambos, and I'm not gonna call them no other words. Tyrone said, George, don't use that word. But just imagine that other word that I will call them. Thank you.
So we ain't gonna call them the other word. Hey, I'm really learning how to be a better human being. I don't even let people deal with every day, disparage people by their gender or their race or nothing no more. I try to be a sensible mind. Me, Tyrone Muhammad, I'm more sensible than some of the people that never been to prison. That's amazing. I'm more sensible. I look back and be like, man, you know what? I ain't all that bad. Forget what they say, George.
But did you know, Tyrone, is a lot of people that won't serve a lot of rats that get on that will never serve a day in prison.
Yep.
But they are prison people. Sometimes you have a trap and some rats.
They keep getting the cheese out and running.
Yeah, some of them get the cheese and they never get caught. So you can't judge a man by how many years he spent in prison. And I want to say that to all my people, and I'm going to keep quiet after I make this statement. You can look good. You can talk good. You can act good. You can dress good. And you can smell good and be a piece of SHI. Just imagine that next alphabet. May God bless you.
I said, hey, I endorse that. And so I endorse that. So where we at, man? I'm having so much fun with Mr. George Blakemore. But no, y'all, we smiling and we laugh a little bit. But this is serious.
It is.
We are done. in Chicago.
Gentrified out.
We as a people, while you're sitting around working your little job, having no care in the world, but never participating in a civic engagement, never showing up in City Hall, never showing up nowhere.
That's right.
But yet your children are affected by the laws and policies coming out of City Hall.
That's right.
Your family is affected by the laws and the taxes coming out of City Hall in the state of Illinois, while you paying high gas taxes.
Yes.
You paying high food
Taxation
taxes.
without representation.
No, and you have no representation.
That's right.
That is tyranny.
That's right.
That is tyranny. You really should be in a revolution for all the taxes you pay with no service.
That's right. That's
How the hell somebody go in your pocket? But now, if somebody go in your pocket,
and you don't get nothing,
you better not say nothing. No, if a stranger walk up and go in your pocket, you shouldn't say nothing. If a stranger sit a gun and rob you, you should be grateful. You should be grateful because y'all openly allow these strange hypocrites to tax you at a rate that's ridiculous.
And your silence is betrayal.
And your silence is betrayal. And your the taxes that they constantly raising on you is not even, it's raising on you, your economy, your checks and your salary don't go up to match the taxes that they putting on you. That's a tariff.
And your taxes is paying for illegal immigrants. You are paying for them. You know, some black people want a rain without thunder and lightning. So it's something wrong here. It's something evil here, and we have to clean this system out.
These people live in Chicago, bro.
They
want winter without cold.
Uh-huh.
They been living here forever and complaining about cold.
Right.
Something is wrong with us. You know what it is? Ain't been no snow. You've been getting these hot days. And when the cold come, even if it's February, you complain.
Well, you know, the new minority are the Hispanics. The new minority. The black people are moving out of the city of Chicago, out of Cook County. Other people are moving in. So they're gentrifying you out. So you deserve the government you get, and you get the government you deserve. So I'm telling you, you must change your mentality. You must understand. I have never, since all my years going down to these various meetings, I have never seen a Hispanic, a man, vote against the interests of their community. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Something happened to the black man on the plantation, and he made something. Well, we have to do better. They say when you know better, you do better. Now, sanctuary is something else. I voted for Harold Washington the first time. That second time, I did not. When he's going to ally himself with Contreras and this other Puerto Rican or whatever, I knew it was time for me to get off of this ship. That's right. And we came over here on a slave ship. And if we continue to vote for other people's interests and not ours, we're going to die over here in a permanent caste system. Mr. Blakemore, a caste system is over in India. No, I'm talking about in the city of Chicago. Never able to overcome the legacy of slavery. No business, Tyrone.
Yeah.
No business, poor education, high crime. So it's something wrong with us. And in our God, we must learn to trust.
In closing, we got a few minutes. I'm going to say this. People always like ask me, like, George, they always ask me, like, my insight about how I see things and look at stuff, right? They were like, man, you got an interesting way of looking at things. So what I often describe to them is to say, like when you sitting in those cells, it's like you have to be forced to use your mind because you can't use your hands and your feet. So you got to see things happening before they happen in observation. So the best way I could describe it is like to people, I tell them always like I'm sitting on the medium. They say, what's the medium? So as we all live in Chicago, know what the Dan Ryan is. So I'm sitting on the medium of the Dan Ryan. I'm not in the car. That means I don't have a party to be in. I ain't got no affiliation. I'm not in nobody's vehicle. I'm sitting on the medium, watching the vehicles.
Yeah.
Going north, going south.
Yeah.
From the medium, I can see from 95th all the way to the 35th.
Yes.
When you're in the car and you're affiliated with this car, no matter the make, model, year, if I'm going left, I'm going south, I'm with the liberals. I'm going north, I'm with the conservatives.
Yes.
So as you going in your direction and your path, you only really have the view of your rear view mirror and your side mirror. That means you often sometimes miss the blind spots because you didn't see it or you can't see it. But sitting on the medium, I can see the blind spot.
You can see clearly now.
I can see every car and I can see the accident that's happened way down there. Because my range of vision from the medium is greater than your range of vision in front of you. So that's how I describe when I say I'm not looking and thinking of things the way everybody else looking and thinking of things. I'm watching the traffic, but I ain't necessarily in the car. I'm watching the traffic and I'm analyzing the traffic, and I already know the traffic jam that's going to happen 3 miles up that way.
You got vision.
And so now, in understanding that, you hollering from the medium, hey, man. And the people in the car got their windows rolled up. They pumping Carly B.
They don't hear you.
They pumping Coochie, Poochie, and Gucci.
Yes.
They listening, they smoking weed.
That's right.
They drinking in the car.
Listen to music.
They doing they got bad tires.
Yes.
They got the smoke coming out the trans, they got bad gas, and they polluting everybody in the atmosphere. You sitting on the medium watching all of the activities of life go by. And then even though you can see all the activity of life go by, they never sat on the medium. They never been in a 9x12 cell. But they gonna tell you what that is. And they ain't never been in a 9x12 cell, come out of prison, George, and create no organization without any help from the government or nobody.
That's right.
I'm saying not no in terms of finances.
All right.
Besides the few people we've named them. But not government. So if the government do not feed me, why should I be beholden to them?
That's right. You know,
why are people beholden to government?
Yes.
And party politics when it hasn't done anything for them, their children, and their family.
That's right. Nothing.
Except they caught up in the rat race of traffic.
That's right.
And until the God intervene in their affairs, they go to prison, crash, die. Family member get affected by the same traffic they in. Then they get a sensibility of a sight to see a little better. Now they're a part of something. Why in the world can't you roll your windows down, turn your music off, and listen to somebody who may have a little better sight and vision than you? But because I'm an ex-con, because I'm a black man, the so-called boule class and the powers that be know that to listen to me is to damage and destroy the brainwashing and the foolishness that they pump on the people.
That's right.
It ain't gonna happen, man. So if we don't do it,
nobody
it ain't nobody gonna do it.
Because they look at us as enemies.
We are enemies.
Yes.
Because why would you?
Yes, we.
Why would you, if you my enemy?
Yes.
And you are not a house Negro.
Yes.
And if you a revolutionary in mind and thought, why would I give you resources to destroy my institution that got these Negroes
That's
like
right.
puppies and,
That's right.
and in the rat race?
That's right.
Why would I give it to you?
They're not going to do it.
They ain't going to do
They're
it.
not going to give you no economic development.
No, and you ain't getting no reparation.
That's right.
So shut up.
So shut the alphabet up.
And use your $3 trillion and create your own reparation.
Right. Create yourself.
Get your own business
That's
together.
Right.
Support your own business.
Yes.
Collective responsibility and pooling our resources would get us where we need to be and want to be.
We got to be producers and not consumers.
And with that being said, you are tuned in to Intellectual Radio, and this is Ex-Cons for Trump Live.
All right,
I'm Tyrone Muhammad, and I want y'all to listen going out. Listen to this song from the sister, and listen to the words. Come on, where's that young lady at? Let's put that music on. Y'all, before we close out, we're going to let this play out and listen to the words.
Play it loud.
You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect.
You cannot handle this intellect.
That's right, George.
You cannot handle this intellect.
You cannot handle it.
You cannot handle this
You
intellect.
cannot
You cannot handle this intellect. You
cannot
cannot
handle
handle
this
this intellect. Dimensional third, I
You
said.
cannot handle this
Y'all have been working too hard
Go
for something
tonight.
that didn't need sacrifice.
Go tonight.
And I guess you didn't take it too far and won't value yourself for the right price. But you are the reason they breathe and the reason they dreams unfold. So we gotta handle this, it's been ridiculous. How we let haters get so inconspicuous. Watching my power, burning demons. You wanted a purge, open season. So drunk with illusion, don't see me coming. Meet your demise, I'm a woman. I do not conform to nobody's norms. I'm cleaning us up, sending the storms. High level vibration, increasing the pressure. You feeling my strength? This is my pleasure. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect.
You cannot.
Hey. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. Dimensional third eye savage. Call me the messenger. Hey, hey, hey. Call me the messenger. Hey, hey. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect.
You cannot handle this intellect.
Second verse, I can count here. I'm counting days. This truth you see coming, gon' make you shame. They've been secretly scared of domination. Consider their feelings no obligation. When dealing with ignorance, that you don't deal with it. Headed for tragedy because you complacent. Stuck with the lies of your information. Stop looking for truth in the black nation. What? This is America. The rise and the fall of a fake nation. A true psychological situation. We suffer from years of defamation. I said it, you man, do something about it. You all in your feelings ain't got no power. This is preparation for this revelation. You oppositional. You cannot handle this intellect. Hey, hey, you cannot handle this intellect.
Make it go viral.
Make it go viral.
You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect.
Critical thinking.
Call me the messenger. Hey, hey, hey. Call me the messenger. Hey, hey. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect.
You can't handle this intellect.
Call me the messenger.
Okay.
Hey, call me the messenger. Hey, hey. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. Dimensional third eye savage.
Woo, 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 woo. Dope tonight.
Dope tonight. Dope tonight.
All
Thank
right,
y'all
now.
for tuning in.
All right.
Dope tonight.
All
Thank
right.
y'all for tuning in.
You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot. Make it go viral.
Make it go viral. Yeah,
How many did we get?